turkey too, so every time we have a turkey in Tagalog, it's Tagalog that it's Pabu, right?
Yep.
So we call it Pabu night. Last few years, every time we have a turkey, we have Rhiannon Webster over.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Granny / Emily / Mom. Happy birthday.
I think Dave wants a picture with the cake. Thank you, Webster and Rhiannon, for the cake. It's beautiful.
Look up, look way up, and I'll call Rusty.
Can I teach you another song?
Sure. Yes.
Happy birthday from all of us to you. We wish you a happy birthday so we can party too. Thank you.
I hung back, and the kids and Dave went, and then I went by myself. So I walked through the market, because I knew the house we were going to. I walked through the market, and as I was walking through the market, I saw this woman, and she was sitting holding a child. And the child, I knew from looking at him that he had cerebral palsy like Ksenia. And I also knew that he was about the same age as Ksenia, I could just tell. But what was baffling to me is where the child had been the entire week, because every day in the market I saw the mother selling whatever it was that she was selling, but not the child. So I tried to communicate with them a little bit, and that was kind of the end of it. Went for supper, and then when I got home, somewhere along the way, it sort of dawned on me that this child, while our kids were running around having an amazing time, and all the little girls in the village were pushing Ksenia in her wheelchair, this child was probably lying in his bed in his house, and I even knew which house he lived in because I saw the mother coming and going. So I said to myself, I'm going to do something for this child. And we actually knew a family who had a child with a disability, and that child had passed. So they said they would give me the wheelchair to give to this child. So I called and I found out how I'm going to ship it there and got all the details. And then I called our friend, Dave's colleague, and I said, please call the family in the village and tell them this wheelchair is coming. So I didn't hear from her a couple days, and then she called me back and she said, I'm so sorry.
I know, I cried about that too.
I'm so sorry, but the boy has died. And I was really, really heartbroken, and I didn't completely at the time understand why, because I mean, I met this child once, and he impacted me so greatly, but I understood after a while what it was, because I realized that if I had gotten that wheelchair to that child, if he had not died, I would have probably felt, I would have given myself a pat on the back, I would have felt like a really good person, my job was done. But because that didn't work the way it had worked, I started to think more deeply about it, and I thought, you know, if there's one child in this village, there is a child in every village. And I just felt moved to do something more than that. So a couple of years later, I started a little charity, and I'm actually going next month to Thailand to do a project. What I do is I gather up people who are experts in cerebral palsy and pediatric cerebral palsy, and we go and we train the people that work with these children. So we did a conference in 2015, and I've done several different projects, including a wheelchair project, And I've had people come and do training for the surgeons that work with these kids. So, in fact, it was kind of funny because one time I was there and we had a doctor come from Australia who was probably the top expert in all of Australia on cerebral palsy, and he was participating in this conference that we did, as did Ksenia. And, I said to him, I said, I feel a little bit overwhelmed because all of you people come with all of this amazing expertise and you do this training. And, I'm no expert. I'm only an expert on one child. I'm not an expert really on cerebral palsy. And he said to me, it was very reassuring, he said, you may not be an expert on cerebral palsy, but if it wasn't for you, the rest of us wouldn't be here.
See?
So everybody brings their own.
Yeah, exactly. And what sometimes
Yeah,
doesn't
for you
find
to
out,
get that organizing going.
you as good as Gabe